everybody. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau. A lot calmer day today than yesterday. I apologize for the wind noise yesterday. We're going to do a basic 5-mile walk today, which should take an hour and a half. That's because I need to come back, make something to eat, have a shower. Then I got to go for something I haven't done in quite a while. I'm going to go see a movie in the theater. It's actually a documentary. Melania. I'm going to go see Melania tonight. Our First Lady. Should be fun. That's that movie I was talking about yesterday that Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 9% from their critics that reviewed it, which is obvious Trump bias, because the tomato meter on the right of people that actually saw it was at 98%. So the people love it. The vindictive Trump derangement syndrome suffering leftists at Rotten Tomatoes ended up throwing tomatoes instead of doing their job. So that's typical of the left. They do that with everything. Tell somebody online you're going to see Melania, and they start reminding you why you should hate them. Because they're not really interested in trying to convince you not to hate them. They're mad at you because you're not with them. And they try to convince you through peer pressure and public shaming to change your mind, to try to cancel Melania. But we've seen them do this literally with everything. It doesn't work, hasn't worked, it's not gonna work, because people think for themselves. Nobody likes to be forced into doing something they don't want to do, either through public shaming or otherwise. And so that just doesn't fly. So I am going to go see that tonight. I'll let you know what I think about it on our next walk after that. And by the time you watch this video, I will have seen it already. So, anyways, my friends, here we are again in sunny, funny Lewiston, Maine. So I don't know what's going on around here with ice operations. Not heard anything. I'm assuming they've been halted. So I'm also assuming they had a plan B. Because like I said yesterday, the polling, since the shooting in Minneapolis, the polling really has not changed as far as people wanting people deported. People still want mass deportation. So I think the White House is waiting to see what the feedback from the public is. Not from the media, but from the public. And I have a suspicion they have things that are going to be ramping up, but done in a different way. I think President Trump's just going to stay out of these big Democrat cities. And what I mean by that is not completely out, but they're not going to establish an armed military-like presence. Because when you do stuff like that, you have to organize it first, you have to plan it, you have people leaking the information, and then you just simply have people seeing a line of ICE vehicles on the highway headed to a certain town. They get on their apps and social media and they start alerting each other. And then people are there protesting just as ICE shows up. They get there before ICE does. So that's been the problem. We need to get in there and do that without them knowing. So I don't know how they can do that. Have decoys, things like that. Because they just show up and they start causing problems, and then the media goes and covers it. And it makes ICE look bad. So, but it's very clear that the public wants deportation. It's still at 86%. That's not just criminals. Everybody pretty much is supporting removing criminals, even a lot of Democrats, but deportation of illegals, all illegals, is around 86%, I saw yesterday. That's a big number. They just don't like the way it's being done. So you need to be clear on that. ICE has not been defeated. They'll come up with a plan B, which is probably in the works now, and I know that's going to happen because DHS got the funding, and at least a dozen detention centers nationally have been opened, and they're all next to big Democrat cities. Talking about Seattle, Portland, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona area. So something's definitely going down. My cousin that lives in Arizona sent me a text, told me the name of the center and where it's located, just outside of Phoenix. It's opening now, so stuff's happening. So this is just like a pause. Don't panic or anything. Alright, now I'm going to turn the camera around, because yesterday I didn't through this part. Keep an eye on the traffic. We'll get our walk done today. Go see Melania tonight. Not a fan of how narrow this road is. Now I'm getting hot, starting to sweat. I'm coming up on the 1 mile mark up ahead. Got a school bus. This isn't good. That wasn't good. Too many cars on this stretch. It only takes that one not paying attention, so I had to watch everybody like a hawk, ready to dive off into the snow. You know what I mean? At least I have snow to dive on. Once we get past this section, we'll all be safe. So I'm going to take a second to talk about the Maine Republicans. Maine Republicans have good intentions, good policies, terrible messaging. It's the same problem Republicans have nationwide. We have to face it, guys. Our messaging sucks, okay? It makes me glad that I am out here making these videos, because I'm out here walking anyway, so I might as well just record and jot down things I want to talk about. And Republican messaging is complete ass. You know, all the recent polling show 80% of the public, 80%, favor voter ID. So Maine people, Republicans, go out, work hard to get it on the ballot. And then they go fill it up with absentee ballot deadline changes. How you can order an absentee ballot was thrown in there. And the Democrats just turned it into an absentee ballot measure. They want to take your absentee voting away. The The whole measure was premised on voter ID. And only 32% or 36% of Mainers voted. That's the 36% that are informed and they don't watch the media. So an 80% issue turned into a 36% issue because the Republicans in Maine suck at messaging. They're not as smart as Democrats. I mean, we need to own that. Democrats know what they're doing. They're smart. They have the worst policies in the world, and they get people to go vote. Republicans don't do anything. And what I mean by anything is, you know, you tell a Republican that, the first thing they do is they get offended instead of listening to what you have to say. Perfect example. Almost all of the Maine Republicans have Facebook accounts. Some of them crossed over to other platforms, but the majority of them are on Facebook. Facebook was started in 2005 when it went public. It was popular at a time with all ages. Back when you had MySpace and Facebook, that was pretty much all there was, right? Remember MySpace? Well, there are probably still Republicans posting on MySpace. A little humor there. Because, oh, this sidewalk's terrible. Well, I'm gonna have to watch traffic on this one. I can't walk on the sidewalks. Well, we'll do that. But anyway, if you go to the App Store for your mobile devices, and you type in Maine GOP, nothing comes up but local media. ABC, NBC, Portland Press Herald, all the leftist-owned media in the App Store pops up. Republicans don't have an app. They're using Facebook. You sign up for their emails, and you get a link. You get a link to go watch a video on Facebook. Now, they just had a petition signing. A petition signing to get candidates on the ballot. People like Susan Collins and people that are going to be running for office. Republicans held the thing. What was the reply on social media from about half the people replying? I didn't know about it. This is the first I hear of it. I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. If I had known, I would have gone and signed it. See where I'm getting at here? People sign up for the email listserv, and then it ends up in their spam folder, or they delete the email, because emails are about as old as Facebook at this point. People don't use those. They're using texting and they're using apps, mobile devices. So, I mean, definitely use emails too. But my point is, they should be using everything like the Democrats do. Democrats even made an app to track ICE. We don't have anything like that. We never think of doing anything like that. So if somebody had an app on their phone, they could choose to have notifications. And then when Republicans do make an app, they bomb the hell out of everyone with texted spam to raise money. So they ought to have a raise money link for texting, and they ought to have a link for Maine Republican news. Because right now we got to find a way to communicate with voters. I guess what I'm saying is, you and I look at everything going on and we go, geez, this is terrible. How can people possibly vote for Democrats? Well, that's because we know what's going on. And if you're watching this video because you like politics, you're in the 40% that care, or less. Most people don't. They just want to scratch their lottery tickets, eat cheeseburgers, and laugh at old Cheers reruns until they go to work again the next day. So they don't keep in touch or keep informed, and nobody informs them. Now, I will say Republicans have been running a lot of ads on YouTube where you see ads when you're trying to watch something. I've been seeing Susan Collins ads, Republicans of Maine. So they've been advertising on YouTube, which is good. Any television ads that Republicans make, since that is not the majority of what people do today, pick a key topic that is a very bipartisan topic. We have a bill that's coming up. They got enough signatures, okay? It's official today. I'm informing you of this news. 76,000 signatures were acquired, which is enough to get it on the ballot measure, so people can vote on it. I have not seen what the ballot measure is going to say. I'm hoping they learn their lesson from voter ID and they just have one topic on it. One. That topic is protecting girl sports. Getting men out of girl sports, women's sports, and boys out of girl sports. That is now going to be on the measure in November, on the ballot measure. So people are going to be able to vote to overturn what the Maine legislature passed with their Title IX violations that the state of Maine has done. Because the DOJ is about to let the hammer fall on the state for that, because they are violating Title IX, which ironically Title IX was come about to protect women's rights. That was a feminist movement thing that went on. So the Supreme Court has been ruling in favor of banning trans women from women's sports. What they just voted on did not make it national, but what it did was it allowed states to pass legislation to ban it, because that is what went before the Supreme Court. So a lot of people are like, well, I thought the Supreme Court just banned. No, they didn't. What they banned was preventing a state from passing legislation banning it. So now states that have passed laws for that is legal. So that's why we're going to have this ballot measure. Now, if the voters vote for it, the state of Maine is going to have to adhere to it, even though they pass legislation. I'm sure there'll be a court battle over it. Or they may not, because Democrats are not defending this transgender lunacy like they were, because now it's a political loser for them. But they don't want to alienate their base that is that. See what I mean? So they kind of talk about it and say people have the right to this and that, but they're not pushing the lawsuits, they're not pushing the other stuff that they were. So that's a win. That's a win, okay? And the media doesn't talk about it, so I'm talking about it. I'm not a professional media person, I'm just some guy, but I keep up on things. And that's just my personal opinion from observation, that the Democrats are no longer promoting that. In fact, before the last election, not the special election we just had, but the general election that Trump was in, Democrats in Maine didn't even talk about it. Didn't even talk about it. Because they knew. President Trump ran anti-transgender ideology ads in 7 swing states, and he won all 7. They spent millions of dollars advertising that because they knew the public doesn't support it. So public does not support it, okay? That's a 70-30 issue. Probably 65-35 in Maine. But it's a weighted issue in favor of it being crazy regardless. So these signatures they just got on this, the ballot measure has to be clean, okay? It can't be full of paragraphs of bullshit. Now you could have trans women in women's sports, banning that, and also banning minors, boys and girls, using the opposite sex restrooms in schools. That could be on it because people don't support that. But on the other hand, any more than that, you're putting too much on there. Democrats will cherry pick the most bipartisan piece out of that. That is easy. What I mean by bipartisan is not bipartisan support, but bipartisan opposition, where the Democrats will turn it into a different issue altogether using psychology, like they did with voter ID. Every Democrat sign that we saw on our walks didn't even mention voter ID. It was absentee voting. They want to take your absentee voting from you, which was a lie. That wasn't true. But it doesn't matter if the media says that. Hi, little doggy. Hi. Hi.
Everybody.
How are you? Hi. Want to say hello? I won't move. I'll let you sniff. Hi, are you a vicious guard dog?
Oh yeah. Might lick you to death if anything.
Doing your job, protecting mama?
Yeah.
Want to say hi to YouTube? You're on camera. Say hi to YouTube.
Say hi, YouTube.
Say hi. Say hi, YouTube. Trust me, they love you.
Oh.
Have a good day.
Yes, you too.
Well, that was interesting. We had a little doggy say hello to us on our walk today. It's a nice day today. It's the first day it's been this mild. It's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. But yesterday was about close to the same temperature, but it feels a lot warmer today because it's not as windy. In the wintertime, wind is everything. So anyway, what I was saying is we're going to have protecting girls' sports on the ballot. That makes me happy. At least we got a chance. If the Republicans do it right this time, that should pass. And I want to see how the local media is going to try to defend trans women playing in women's sports. Because that is a lopsided issue. Should absolutely not be happening anywhere right now. Nobody wants it, but that's what I'm talking about. Democrats are smarter than we are. We have to acknowledge that. We have to fight harder. We rely on common sense. We don't have that kind of backdoor mentality to mess with people. We'll take an issue and exploit it, but we're not smart enough to figure out ways to convince mass population of something that's completely ridiculous as being okay simply by demonizing the other side. And that's what they've done. I don't know how many times I've seen on the internet somebody talking to a trans person that is a Republican or independent, and because they're not a Democrat, they will tell them, well, how can you possibly contemplate or support somebody that wants you dead? So a lot of these people on the left legitimately believe ICE or Gestapo, that Republicans want trans people dead. And that comes from a CPAC speech, I believe it was. A Republican was speaking, and I actually watched that speech, and that guy said transgender ideology has to be eradicated. It is corrupting and destroying our kids. So the media took the word eradicated and exploited it for propaganda. And that stigma is still there, because when you eradicate something, you get rid of it. The Germans tried to eradicate the Jews, okay? So the Republican on stage was trying to be edgy in his commentary, saying eradicate transgender ideology, which doesn't mean eradicating trans people. It means the ideology. But the media and online propaganda turned that into Republicans want to eradicate trans people. And we don't think that way, so we don't do that. So what I'm saying is Republicans could have taken care of that early and clarified their statements. They just misread. So that's gonna, I mentioned that because that's gonna pop up again with that being a ballot measure now. We're gonna start hearing those same talking points. Transphobia, you're transphobic. Republicans want trans people dead. We're bigots, transphobes. The media is going to carry that, and sadly the Republicans don't have an answer for that, because Republicans are still stuck in 1996 or 2006. They're sending emails and writing blogs instead of making apps. Republicans in Maine need an app. That's it. I don't care if it costs $1 million. You gotta have that. You gotta be able to reach everybody on their phones. That's just the way it is now. So get with the program, guys. It's frustrating to me because I know all of these topics are ones Democrats would lose on. They would lose every election if we could get our messaging out. Really burns my buns, man. It burns my buns. So that's why I was saying, if you guys have a YouTube app installed, you can go live even from your laptop without an app. You don't even need to install an app now. You just click on the live button on your YouTube channel and go live. Start talking. Tell people how you feel. Even if only 5 people see it, maybe one of those 5 will vote that haven't voted for a long time. And what you say will resonate with them because they're not on social media. They're just, you know, living their life. And, you know, life is difficult as it is. You know, a lot of people just don't want to make time mentally for politics. But at the same time, you're going to have people, you know, talk about the things that matter in Maine or your state. You know, the best thing to do is talk to your local voters rather than national. You know, in Maine, Janet Mills wants the legislature to take away people's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. If you're collecting Social Security, working part-time, you were going to get a really nice $1,000 tax deduction. You'll still be able to do that federally, but you're not going to get your local tax break. So whatever you gained, they're going to take it back. Because the tax rate in Maine is more than federal. So you need to get angry about it. Let people know. Sadly, there's a lot of people out there that'll happen to them and they'll go, well, what the hell can I do about it? It is what it is, and then they're quiet about it. I guess that's just how it is. Always getting screwed. What else is new? Nothing I can do about it. That mentality sucks, okay? So what I'm saying is, start talking to your laptop. Doesn't matter if you're photogenic. Doesn't matter if you can speak well. If you can't speak well, keep the video short. If you can speak well enough to talk for an hour and a half on a walk, and I'm not as good at public speaking as a lot of other people. I'm not very charismatic. But the point is, you got to come out here and you have to say something. Very important. Yes, I have a lot of radio experience. I understand that. But they don't see your face and mannerisms on the radio. So doing this on my walks is actually kind of new for me. And it's been fun. I get to see the bad camera angles. I don't like close-ups. I've discovered that. Especially with the HD cameras like this one. You can see every little defect in somebody's face, and I'm sure people don't want to see that. So I got a good sweat going right now on this walk today. The sunshine is nice. It's blinding me. I'm getting my vitamin D generated in my skin. Get my exercise in. Then I'll go see the movie documentary Melania later, which will be fun. think I'll visit the outhouse. I don't really feel like I have to go, but I probably will by the time I get back. It'd be like when you're a kid and the car stops and they tell you to go to the bathroom. Then you say, but I don't have to go. And they'll say, well, go anyway. And that's why. So you didn't have a car full of kids going, I gotta pee. It's a nice day though. I gotta say, a lot of this stuff is not melting as fast as I thought it would. We had a pretty good permafrost in the ground frozen. And 32 to 35 degrees is really not warm enough to quickly melt everything. Well, you can see the sides of the road are wet. We're at 2.5 miles right now. We're doing 5. So we'll head up towards the outhouse. Not step in this puddle. See, somebody lost half an earmuff there. Those were invented in Maine, by the way. That's an invention in Maine, the earmuffs. Aren't you thankful for earmuffs? Before that, I'm pretty sure people just tied a scarf around their head. Somebody had the idea of making fuzzy earmuffs. Probably from fur, I'm guessing. With a headband. Just a headband with pads of fur on the end that cover your ears. That's about all they are. Somebody probably got rich on that. Can you imagine? All of those simple inventions have been done. It's very difficult to come up with a brand new hot viral item. All right, I'll be out in a moment. Wish me luck. This time of year, at least the bathroom doesn't smell bad because of the cold. Be right back. Now we'll finish up our walk down the road here. We got 2.5 miles left to go. I wish more stuff was melting at this point, but it doesn't look like it. I have some earmuffs at home somewhere. I don't wear them. I could though, I suppose. It's been cold enough. Head up this way. Seen 2 people out walking their dogs already. Nice day for it.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice day.
Yes, it's beautiful. Looks like she was throwing snowballs at her dad. That's fun. Everybody's happy the sun's out and it's over freezing, which it isn't really. It's right around 32 again. But people have been cooped up because of the cold. So, even me. Yesterday was the first walk I went on in 10 days. Now I'm doing it back to back. Speaking of my back is feeling better than it did yesterday. Yesterday felt like it hadn't been used for a while, which is factual. Today is different. Feels pretty good. So when you see the camera tilt down like that, typically I'm looking at the screen on the back. Make sure it's recording, checking the battery life, etc. Oh, shut up. Car. You know, you'd think Republicans in Maine would have learned from Donald Trump. Sadly, we get too many Republicans in Maine that are of the rhino variety. They have too many Democrats in their districts. But that's the way Maine is. So I don't fault them for that. But, you know, President Trump heavily used the internet and social media. Nice Mustang. Heavily used the internet, social media, texting, apps. You know, Trump would come up with his own app, and I realize making apps costs money. It just does, because you have to get into an app store. Making the app itself is not difficult these days. You can actually make your own app on a mobile phone, especially on Samsung. And what you do is you go to a web page and then you just save it to your desktop on your phone, and it makes an app. You can even have it send you notifications when something new is posted. A lot of people don't even know you can do that. So you could just take the Maine Republican website and make an app. But of course, it makes a website link on Apple phones. So, because Apple wants you to go to the App Store so they can make money. All right, we're at 3 miles. We're at the 3 mile mark. And I think today, instead of taking a right, we'll take a left up ahead. That'll take me directly to where I'm going, and it's about 2 miles. That'll give me my 5 miles. take advantage of walking while I can, because it's going to be warm again tomorrow. So I'll be walking tomorrow. And what I mean by warm is somewhere around 32 to 35. Then we're going to get some kind of sloppy kind of weather, I think Thursday night into Friday. And then Saturday is going to be very cold in the teens. So we're going to get cold really quickly. And that's going to last for about 3 days. And then we're going to see the mid-20s. And then we're back in the 30s again. So this is what I call seesaw time of year. Now I know Puxatawny Phil said we have 6 more weeks of winter, and he's full of crap. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen this year. We had a very early winter. It's running its course. And what we will probably get in February, towards the end of it and beginning of March, probably be snow. But I see a lot of days in March on AccuWeather in the 40s, towards the end of the month in the 50s. AccuWeather is pretty good at long-term predicting general weather patterns and temperatures. They don't predict storms 2 months ahead. That's impossible. But they follow the jet stream and accurate predictions. And we live and die here by the jet stream in Maine. It dips below us, we get Canadian cold. It goes on us or above us, it gets warmer. So it looks pretty damn cold for most of February, almost all of it, okay? And also, you should know that for February, this is the first time in a long time that the 1st was on a Sunday. And on the Sunday, being the 1st, and there's 28 days in February, because there's no leap year, that we're going to have 4 weeks exactly in February. 1st through the 7th, and then the 8th through the 14th, so on and so forth. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 days in February, and February 1st was on a Sunday. So the entire month of February, we're not going to have any days on the calendar from January or any March days on your calendar. If you look at it, you'll have 4 full weeks of just February. Now, I realize it's not a big thing to get excited about, big deal, but it doesn't happen very often. It's going to be a while before that happens again. So I just thought I'd mention it. So we'll finish out this walk over the next couple miles, and go home, take a shower, eat something, and then go see Melania, the beautiful First Lady movie documentary. Alright, we'll hang a right up here on that street. Excuse me. Right. So we'll cut across here. All right, having a good workout today. I was just thinking about topics to talk about, and I don't really have much. Pretty much shot all my stuff yesterday on that walk. Now, I did watch a good mini-series. I like watching streaming. I don't have Netflix, but I watched a Netflix series, The Beast in Me. The Beast in Me. It's really good. That's basically a story about this guy that is a very wealthy man, powerful, ruthless, by any means will accomplish what he wants to accomplish. Probably based on Donald Trump. This guy turns out to be a serial killer, though, of sorts. He just enjoys, he's crazy. So Claire Danes stars in it. She's a good actress. But because it's Netflix, they had to put their woke stuff in it. Now, I will honestly tell you, the entire eight-part series is not woke, okay? But the character has what you would call today's woke politics, something they didn't have to have in it, but they did. And Claire Danes played a lesbian with an ex-wife. And that was talked about pretty frequently throughout the whole series. So they had to have their woke stuff in it. But it was a good miniseries with a great story. It was really good. So I'm just throwing that out there if you want to check it out, and stuff like that isn't going to bother you. You don't have a lot of scenes in it with women making out and stuff. It's not that woke. but it has to do with how that family was affected when the child was killed by accident and how that ties into the story. So it was really interesting. Got a truck coming here. Looks like a rider moving van. So that show is called The Beast in Me. Worth a watch if you haven't seen it, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't be too afraid of it. But I'm never going to give Netflix my money ever again. I canceled my subscription a few years ago when they had a grooming show, I called it. Don't even remember the name of the show, but it had to do with kids that were cheerleaders, minors, preteens and young teens. And it had a lot of sexually suggestive stuff in it, almost like they were catering to pedophiles and trying to groom kids. And there was a lot of backlash for that. And the person that created the show was somebody that was promoting transgender stuff and woke politics, an activist online that Netflix hired. So that show ended up getting canceled, literally, because people were canceling their Netflix, which I did, and I never went back. So I don't know why the devil gets into that crap and even allows that shit to happen. I just don't get it. Now my back muscles are starting to feel a little bit of fatigue, but it did much better than yesterday. Now tomorrow's walk will be even better, so on and so forth. But I am starting to feel it right now. Oh, there's some kids at the school. I hear them making some noise out there. Hang a left here. sun's out nice and strong like that, you can see the water running from that snow down the roof. We're thawing out, but it is going to get cold again, so that much is for certain. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hear those snow tires. All right, this is a dangerous way back, but reasonably, this is the way I'm stuck going. We have no sidewalks here, only what the snow plows gave us on the side. Is this the day I have to dive in a snowbank? Now, nighttime is much worse. Even though I do have reflective boots and gloves. I notice people don't see me at night as well. Especially on this stretch, because this is not a stretch walked very much by very many people. So I'm already looking at these cars. Now I got some ice on the side here. We had a Trump flag go by. That's why I waved. That pickup truck had Trump flags on it. This is where we are right now is the in-between blue and Trump district. Get a little of each. I have my eyes glued up ahead, if you're wondering. Because I have to watch two things. Cars up ahead and what's on my left. A lot of times the road will have water that melted across, and I don't want to have to get out of the way of a car coming with that ice. So I mean, it's not a major problem, but it's something to at least acknowledge. And when you can, to walk up to the side like this. About 30% of the battery left. I think this camera has been reset for the battery. Stop recording with 25 seconds, 25% or 20% left of the battery. They have that setting so while you're recording something important, the battery doesn't die. I usually turn that off, but I think I reset the camera because it was having brain cramps, which it fixed. But that setting might have gone back to default setting, if you know what I mean. All right, got a little room on the side here to walk. This had snow on it there a while back. It's melted some. So we're at 5.5 miles. 5 miles right now, actually. 5.5, actually. That's right. Well, it looks like I'm getting a 6-miler today anyway. I set out for a 5, but I changed my route midstream and I actually added an extra mile, or just under. Probably be about 5.8 miles today. Rounded off at 6, I guess. Still watching up ahead through the trees there, see if I see any cars. I'm telling you, you really gotta watch when there's no sidewalks. It's always that one car out of 20 that's driving too fast, not paying attention, maybe high. This car is not speeding, and they see me. This car here does not see me yet. Now they see me. This car here sees me. This truck sees me. Can always tell. See, this guy's going to slow right down, extra cautious. And then as he's driving by, he's going to look at the girl in the car. What are people walking in the road? What are they, stupid? He slowed down to make it more dramatic. You know those type, right? Look at this guy walking on the side of the road. He's got no sidewalks and they didn't plow, but it's his fault anyway. Shouldn't have to slow down. Aren't people funny? So basically you see all kinds when you're walking. Now I'll be on the sidewalk here. The friggin' nerve of that guy. All right. So what I was saying, we just saw what happens. Car goes by. Either doesn't see you at all. Most people do see you. They either continue at the speed they were doing or they slow down. Or once in a while you get one like that guy in the pickup truck who was all dramatic about it. Slowed down way too much. Swerved way too wide. Like I was the one doing something wrong. Despite Maine law clearly stating you must yield for pedestrians. And I know people are going to argue, well, that's for crosswalks. You have to yield for pedestrians. Can't tell me with a straight face the insurance company is going to side with you. You're driving and you hit somebody walking on the side of the road. They're not. You know they're not, so I don't even know why you would argue that. It's like if you accidentally shoot someone with your gun, and your argument is, boy, that person was stupid enough to get in front of my gun. That can happen. But I'm not walking while intoxicated, weaving around, falling into the road. So, you know, there's not very much blame you'd put on me. I would rather have a sidewalk to walk on, but I didn't have that option. So, if you want to try to argue that in court, that, well, the city didn't clean the sidewalks for him to walk on. So, it's not my fault, it's the city's fault. Good luck with that. Not to mention the fact that I'd probably be dead because I got hit. But anyway, that guy was funny, being over dramatic like that. Now we just passed the banana peel. I want to share a trick with you. I saw, turn the camera around for this. I saw a guy who said that if you have green bananas and you just got to have that banana and it's not ripe yet, go ahead and microwave it for like a minute in a plate or something, closed with the skin, let it sit, and it ripens the banana because of the gases inside and what it emits. And I was like, go on, as if. So I actually did it. It works. It friggin' worked. Now, it's not going to make the banana taste sweeter, like when a banana gets ripe, but it made it taste good. Palatable. It wasn't hard to chew, okay? So it was like a different kind of banana. Pretty good, actually. So then after another day or two, my bunch of bananas ripened up on their own. Perfect banana is where it's mostly yellow and there's still a little bit of green left on the corner edges. That's how I like them. I don't like them when they're all soft and mushy. I'll eat them, but I prefer. All right, let's see if I can go through here without dying. We made it. We're almost done this walk today. We just hit 5 miles even. So I guess I did plan it just right. My ear just told me it was 5 miles. Sometimes I get to talking with you guys and it goes off and I don't listen to it because I'm talking. So we just hit 5 miles. That means I have my mileage for today. Got to do at least 5 miles. So now this saves me about 20 minutes in my walk today. just 20 minutes I'm going to need today because the last showing of the day for Melania is 7 o'clock. It's already past 3, so I still need to cook, take a shower, get dressed, and go to the movie. So there. And I'll let you know how the Melania documentary is. I'm sure it'll be good. It rated 98% with people that have seen it. So that means I'll like it. And it really pisses me off that Rotten Tomatoes. You know, Rotten Tomatoes is really popular. They're actually influencing box office. You know, I don't think they're as popular as they were a couple, 3 years ago. But if they come out and say a movie sucks, well, it cuts into what that movie's going to make. And this is what I'm trying to tell the Republicans in Maine. You have to get established on the internet with apps. Get your information out. So that's what we're going to do with that. And you know, it's one of those things where Republicans are just not good at it. They're just not. Websites like Rotten Tomatoes, they're all biased, but they're influencing the industry. And then we had the Grammys, which the Grammys is supposed to be about music. It turned into a political rally. They spent all their time bad-mouthing ICE, Trump, immigration, and they're getting backlash for it. Because, again, the rich elites, the big musicians, are out of touch. The majority of the public wants deportations, period. That's just a fact. It's not going away. It's not going to change because somebody got shot in Minneapolis. So, consequently, these people are hurting their own craft. They made their music political. And now when people play a song by somebody that was on there complaining, they're going to think about this bullshit that they said at the Grammys because of the internet. So, anyways, my friends, I hope we talked about a lot, got the message across. I want to say God bless you and your family. God bless President Trump and the country. Say a prayer for Trump and the Republicans. We've got a big midterm election coming later this year. And I know tradition shows that we don't win that. If things go really bad, we'll lose the House and we'll have a tie in the Senate, is what it looks like to me, if that goes like the worst case. So, should have the Senate, which would be good. And if the Democrats get the House, we'll see what happens. But Republicans have to change their messaging, and it has to be more than Donald Trump saying it. Trump he's not on the ballot anymore. You could arguably say that he is for midterms, but he's not. So these Republicans out there have to talk to their people that they need votes from. You can't talk to just the Trumpers. And they got to motivate Republicans to vote. That's our biggest problem every midterm election. So that's our job, okay? I want you to fire up your laptops, your phones, your iPads, whatever you use for a webcam. Just click on the Go Live on YouTube and just start talking. YouTube is good with bandwidth for the first hour. And I do realize that you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to go live. But you can record videos for Facebook. You can record videos for other social media. Just have a simple message and do the best you can. We need to spread the message. People watch videos. It's very important. So, until the next time, my friends, God bless all of you, and God save us. God bless America. Remember to make America healthy again. MAHA walking. We'll see you on the next walk, my friends. Bye-bye now, you hear? Go see Melania. Buy a ticket. Go!